Oh, this is crazy right now. It seems like Roy and Maul, boy, karma has come back in full circle. Some old tweets has have popped up with Roy saying some racist things. Well, some people say that it's racist. Some people saying that people are offended. But boy, this is what hate does to you, man. It comes back in full circle. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. Let's just react to this.
Now, when it comes to Rory and Maul, well, now, if you are ready to see how when you come to Drake way too much, things just get way too out of hand, and now Rory and Maul have destroyed their name, show, and reputation within a way that hasn't just been building for so long, but within a way now that they are never going to be able to recover from? Well, listen, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this downfall, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I just gotta put out this disclaimer before we go any further, but as when criticism of Rory and Maul tends to come out, Rory is known to sit on his computer and try to take down anything that is criticizing or calling them out. Well, as this has happened to a lot of people who have spoken out against them in the past, really make sure to leave a like so this gets out there before anything else can happen. And just with that said, we are going to be limiting how much footage we actually show of Rory and Maul clowning out on the show that has ended up ruining everything from them. But now with all of that said, well, after all the cringe dancing, crying, caping, and coping for the worst things in hip-hop, and well, with some of the stuff these guys have been doing recently, it's going well beyond that, Rory and Maul have finally been exposed within a way that is about to tear down their entire show and put them in a place where they are no longer going to be able to talk about anything anymore in the same way, as with some of the stuff that's coming out, which started with Damaris and has now reached Rory and Maul, which now from all three of the hosts looks absolutely terrible. Well, listen, once again, I just gotta say, as Rory is probably crashing out as he is trying to do some of the most damage control we have ever seen, really make sure to leave a like because this has been in the making for so long, and this really isn't something that they are going to be able to walk back. And so now when it comes to Rory, Maul, and Damaris, well, what we can say is that with them getting exposed like this and with this all going down, I'm probably going to annoy them and any of their fans with this, but I guess you could say, and to quote the album that has made media members like them just lose their minds and really crumble their own reputations just from their own insecurities in Kendrick Lamar's GNX. Well, to quote the self-titled track itself from that project, well, to talk about their fall off, I guess what you could say is a quote from the self-titled track on that record in the line, "Tell him Kendrick did it," because with this whole thing, well, now after Rory and Maul's support and love for Drake went so far that it ended up disrespecting Kendrick Lamar GNX, the run he has been on, and so much else around that, well, listen, these three stooges and Joe Budden rejects have managed to create such a mess for themselves with all of that, and what the crazy part about it really is, though, is that, well, historically, while the biggest clown out of all of them has been Maul, and he has been the one who has ruined the show just from a brand value standpoint and just from a reputation standpoint, well, more than ever, and that's just because of how much coping he has done for Drake on the mic and how clearly he has shown his biases, which for those who don't know, Maul and Drake are like best friends. Well, now aside from that and aside from all of the temper tantrums that Maul has thrown in the name of his good friend Cupcake Drake, it's really ended up being none other than Rory and also Damaris, who have taken the show to the hole that it's in right now and destroyed the entire thing within a way where in the next few days it's about to get scary for the future of the entire show. And well, now what started all of this? Well, came and started from none other than Damaris, who now after the new Rory and Maul episode dropped this Monday on the 10th, well, now after this clown show of a podcast was talking about the recent Grammy nominations and specifically within this, they were talking about the rap categories and just the general battle between Kendrick and Clips in a lot of them, and saying that if GNX wins, and especially if GNX wins over Clips, well, they are going to be very mad if Kendrick wins. Well, after people called this out as it kind of represented that same soft sentiment that Joe Budden's podcast got called out for a few weeks ago, where they were just saying that Kendrick was winning too much and that somebody else should win just because he's too good and not actually because of the merit of what they are doing. Well, the entire pod was getting a lot of backlash from the Kendrick community and the culture in general. And now after trying to walk back some of their stances from all of the backlash they got, and within this, just the clear conversation that was building and brewing that was showing how biased this crew really is, well, out of all people, Damaris was the one leading this effort to try and say that they aren't biased.
She really getting on my damn nerves. She been getting on my nerves for a while, but yeah, she really getting on my damn nerves
Against Kendrick Lamar, and that they don't hate him at all. Well, where things really got bad is after challenging people to try and find and dig something up of her saying something negative about Kendrick. Well, that fell apart quick as this clip went viral right away.
Yeah, when she literally says, "I hate the way Kendrick Lamar sounds. I hate the way everything."
Quick as this clip went viral right away.
I said, every time possible, I hate the way Kendrick Lamar raps. I hate this on his I hate his voice, and I will not listen to him again because I hate this on his voice.
And I just love when people get proven wrong so easily, because the fact that you tried to stand on something when, again, all it took was one clip to just take down your entire argument, well, that's just hysterical. And so just with seeing the proof that the whole Rory and Mal pod has been designed to smear and take down Kendrick Lamar ever since the beef, and there have been clear biases and just faults that they have tried to ignore within the way that they have just reported and talked about Kendrick in general, well, seemingly after being exposed and not just letting up on the ideas that they really are compromised and that they are secretly working for the Cupcake Drake, which it really does feel like that, and especially with Maul and Drake's relationship relationship, it almost really is undeniable. Well, after all of this and not letting up on the clear faults that they were exposing for, this is where everything really got bad. And this is where everything ultimately got tragic for the future of the show.
Here we go right here.
Rory, out of all people, doubled down on just the
Now, this is where it's about to get worse right here.
Entire pod not being anti-Kendrick and not doing things to alienate his name and legend status from the rest of hip-hop. Well, just like with Damaris, people got to looking at old posts and comments of him talking about Kendrick Lamar, where off the bat, they didn't just find comments that were clearly showing the hypocrisy and change in tone in both.
Kendrick is a GOAT, but coming back outside just to shoot another 2 or always outside like a little funny in the light, I don't know. I just don't think the control formula moment will work in this scenario.
Rory and Mal's coverage of Kendrick Lamar and just everything that has went on in this time in general. But beyond people looking at these old...
Remember when Kendrick was going with that whole Tupac talks to me in my sleep marketing scheme? That... What? Dead? That dead? That died quick?
Posts and comments of Rory specifically talking about Kendrick Lamar, and off the bat they were able to track not just the start of the bias and the full flip that we saw on Kendrick as the beef started and the Kendrick verse on Like That dropped, which when it comes to Rory making some of the most pro-Drake and anti-Kendrick messages out there, right alongside what he said when Drake filed the lawsuit. And
oh yeah, I remember this boy. He was so pro-Drake. Oh, this lawsuit, it means Drake is gonna help the rapper and all that stuff. Boy, all this stuff came to bite him in the ass.
That he was in the right there. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Well, going even deeper than that, people were able to find so much more on Rory, and not just stuff about hip-hop, but with stuff that was really, really bad. And that no matter how you want to flip it, just have...
What does that say right here?
About hip-hop, but with stuff that...
Ghetto crayon colors, black women and lace front with black women and lace front blonde. That might upset some people.
That was really, really bad. And that no matter how you want to flip it, just having these words attached to you on your...
If she ever blew up, you meet a chick in the club named Beyonce, bet money she'll have blue weave in it.
Account is something that you can't just walk out easily of. And so I'm just going to show you some of these on screen. And with this...
Like the hood rat named Beyonce. Dang, he don't like Beyonce, huh?
Stuff that you can see Rory saying. I mean, look at this Beyonce one. It's bad. And you know, while Rory
if she blew up,
immediately jumped on spaces to try and address everything going on, and maybe, you know, he could have made things better here if he tried. Well, he did the exact opposite of that, as he hopped on spaces and with everybody, and I mean everybody watching, because I was in this thing, and I was just looking at the amount of names in this, and from all sides of hip-hop, and from Drake fans to Kendrick fans to journalists, really so many different people were looking at what he had to say here. Well, within this, and I guess when you could say the pressure had never been higher, Rory, and then with the help of Damaris and even Mal for a little, they all joined him as they did some of their worst work ever together, which is saying a lot. And the reason why is because Rory just did not apologize once for these very demeaning and awful things that he said years ago, and instead of even trying to really get to the root of the issue or take any level of accountability, he took the route that Mal tends to take, and he must have gotten from Drake, which is to never take any sort of responsibility or ownership of anything that you do, and just constantly deny, and deflect to try and treat even these comments, which people were so clearly upset by, as just an absolute joke. And while I could tell you things for myself and try to explain them, I sat within the spaces for way too long and watched all the crash outs, cover-ups, and just career-ending moments get all laid out to create and build a foundation that we will look back on one day as the moment where Rory and Mal fell apart forever. And I'm just going to play you some highlights of what went down, so just brace yourselves right now.
Do you have anything you want to say to that? You think it's... I'm trying to get the right words here, because for one, I mean, okay.
What would be the right words?
What does it mean she's trying
I guess being apologetic for...
I have no idea what that tweet is about or what joke was going on Twitter. I may have been retweeting that in the sense of during that time when everyone was killing dark-skinned women on Twitter, and I was the only one defending them during the Wild Wild West of Twitter, which was around for Rocky, which all these people in probably in the spaces have no idea what that time was like. When I was the only one defending dark-skinned women at the time, I may have retweeted that as a joke because we were all going back and forth of like, this is insane that somebody would even think like, I don't know. I'm just thinking in my own mind.
Right.
Because I know what time it is. Like this, everybody that knows me on Earth, I know, put your thumbs down, put everything. I'm fine with that. Everybody that knows me knows, come on, like this is crazy.
The whole space throwing their thumbs down. This is crazy.
If I apologize for something that I would not even say or mean whatsoever, that would be disingenuous. Like I'm not about to apologize for a tweet saying I find black women unattractive. Everyone on Earth knows, the people that know me know exactly the complete opposite.
Rory, at least
a lot of stubbornness, a lot of ego, a lot of pride. People just don't want to face, they don't want to take accountability. This is the lack of taking accountability. So he's saying, nope, I'm not going to apologize for disrespecting black women. All right. He said, nope, I'm not going to apologize for disrespecting black women. That's what happens when you always let outsiders inside. They're always feeling themselves, right? Outsiders always feeling themselves, and then they feel a little bit too comfortable. They feel a little bit too comfortable.
At least no more
Rory,
weave
like,
jokes.
I'm not about to apologize for that. No, I'm not apologizing.
To me, that wasn't even somebody tweeted that. I said that the wrong way. That was when you used to fake a RT that somebody said something like so that they could get canceled. You made a fake RT so that the person that you RT would get in trouble for like it's hard to explain if you weren't on Twitter back then, but when you used to put RT and then like say somebody said something and they never said.
So
Yeah, that's what you were doing. Rory was trying to get the person that he said that to. But at the end of the day, don't waste your time explaining that, because if people weren't around when all of that was happening, they just really won't understand. Like, they just won't understand that.
I don't think that was a fake RT, Damaris. I think that before you had the repost button, you would tweet out RT and you
Okay, yes, I understand.
No,
that.
but you can also fake the
example,
RT
you
and
can fake the
put
RT.
it at somebody else's at and say that they said this.
It's real. That's why people are outraged. Like, you don't address the tweets.
That wasn't even the topic of the conversation. Rory came in here with it on his own. It will become a real conversation.
I came in here to crack jokes, but
Yeah, I thought
that's,
it was a joke. I didn't know people.
It's not. Apparently, it's not the time.
I didn't know people was really offended by it.
I want to take
Well,
my
I think
joke back.
I
Y'all
would,
serious?
I would be a
Yeah, like
hypocrite,
I
though,
wanted to joke, but
No more weave
it's
jokes.
not.
All right.
1 second though. I'm gonna say this though.
Sound like a whole bunch of deflections. Oh man, I thought we were just joking. Nah, man, address your tweet. Address what you're saying. Do you apologize for what you're saying, or or is this how you feel? You know what I mean? But he already said, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for disrespecting black women. All right, well, hey, y'all got y'all answer right there.